This is a Distillery Channel network production, bringing you the distillerychannel.com. Well, Miss Kira?
Yes.
Here we are. The inaugural. Welcome to, what are we doing?
Coffee and Tidbits.
Coffee and Tidbits. We've worked on this for a long time, a lot of rehearsal. And on the line we have, from Fort Pierce, Florida, we've got Betsi Hill. Betsi, are you still there, or are you luxuriating?
I'm luxuriating, but I am still here.
Well, she got that residual check in the mail this morning. Her appearance fee through her consultants had to be paid, and after dealing with all of her attorneys, she decided to still appear on the show. That's
Woo!
great.
Yeah, Betsy.
Also, that other lovely laugh that you have is our wild child, right on cue. She'll love this music. Phyllis, the actress, the Army Colonel, Spielman, driving to Breckenridge, one hand on the wheel, one hand on a coffee cup, foot to the accelerator. Phyllis Spielman coming to between Denver and Breckenridge, right?
Yes, I'm actually about 3 miles. I can see the tips right now. I see the snow, a little bit of snow that they have on the mountain right now, and the beautiful evergreens. Then you have the coffee in hand.
That's great. We like to have that distracted driving in Colorado.
That's why you're on speaker.
Thank you. So much going on, so little time. You know, because things are always relaxed. And we hear things are relaxed in Colorado everywhere. And to my left, I have the beautiful Kira Peterson.
Yes.
From our Untapped, what do we call that?
Kira Untapped.
Kira Untapped, my goodness. I can't keep them all straight. And I'm Randy Weckerly, the co-host, along with these three beautiful women. And I put my estrogen patch on this morning just so I could fit in. So anyway, we're going to talk a little bit about what makes for a great Thanksgiving. And, we tried to paint the picture in our little preamble there about, Thanksgiving coming up. We call it Thanksgiving leftovers because we're going to talk about the history of Thanksgiving. But every one of us have had that Norman Rockwell moment, right, Kira?
Oh, yeah. All the time. Every year.
And we're going to share Betsi Hill's famous recipes. And Phyllis and Betsi are going to share their recipes today. So, Betsi, how's it going in Florida? What's it like down there, Betsi, as you have your apron on, struggling over the stove, getting ready for this year's Thanksgiving?
You obviously have mistaken me for someone who cooks because I don't.
What? I was misinformed.
I rely heavily on a husband who cooks, but our Thanksgiving is always untraditional. This year it plans to probably be a surf and turf, grouper and steak.
Can I come down there with you, Betsy, for your Thanksgiving?
Of course.
Okay, I'll leave right now.
Now, Betsi, where do you get this surf and turf? Where do you obviously you spend hours cooking it, and you said you didn't. So how do you begin preparing that meal?
Well, you have to catch the fish first, so that's obviously a husband duty.
Yeah.
He goes and catches the grouper, and then he cleans and fillets it, and then it's easy. We just grill it. It's quite simple.
I love the plural in that plural pronoun. We do this and we do that, we watch Jim cook. We watch Jim movie.
I do set the table, and I do the desserts and all of that. So I guess it is a we thing.
What kind of hard-shelled seafood do you put in your desserts? Oyster pie?
I work very hard. Yeah. We do a pecan pie, but ours is not normal. We do a bourbon pecan pie.
Oh, there you go. That's why we have Betsi Hill being the specialist of researching fine bourbon places. Okay, give us more.
Well, bourbon pecan pie, and usually we don't usually do a pumpkin pie. We'll do something kind of southern, usually a lemon chess pie to go along. And of course, we're just coming back from the Bahamas the day before, so we have a crowd of 6 to 8 that'll be joining us.
Nice. Do you bring them back from the Bahamas, or are you just people that you know on the mainland?
No, I'm not that generous.
No. Well, Betsi is benefiting from an all-expenses paid trip to all the way. Let's call it the Sandals Resort on Bahamas. Am I misunderstanding that, Betsi?
Nope, you are absolutely correct.
Gosh.
You are absolutely correct.
Awesome.
So we'll be in Nassau and coming back the day before, and have enough time to cook and prepare the house before we are inundated with friends and family.
Well, let me just do a little inventory. Right now, Michael Stewart and his wife are luxuriating down in Orlando. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, and Betsy's going to be going to the Bahamas.
Jealous.
And we had to have Phyllis pull off the road as she's going to Breckenridge. Yeah.
Yes, actually, I'm just pulling in there. I'm just pulling into Breckenridge right now.
Oh, she's safe. She made it. That's
Woo!
awesome.
Good job, Phyllis.
and Kira and I, the head of the console of this whole organization, get to sit here in Wisconsin. Beautiful Wisconsin, as everybody in the company travels. We're a travel company. This is awesome. I love it.
Well, at least we're not in Chicago. They're getting lake effect snow.
Yeah, you gotta love that, don't you?
Gross.
So, Phyllis, tell us about your what you're experiencing right now. Are you going skiing today, or what's going on with you?
Actually, yes, I got my pass at the end of the season. I'm gonna have them reprinted, but there's a couple of slopes open, and I like to the town of Breckenridge is so cute. You drive through it, and you have these little stores, and being there's a couple of slopes. Runs open. It's so easy. I can pop on those and then go sit in the lodge and just look at the scenery. It is a Friday, so I get to enjoy the day today. Like I said, just exploring. And it's always pleasant. When I think about Thanksgiving, though, my kids normally go. We cook. We get together and we cook. And so since today they're spread out all over. One's in one state going to college, and the other one's in school, and the other one's working. It's all my day. But
nice.
We were just talking about Thanksgiving, and we always go ever since for the last 15 years, or 15 to 18. I've been taking them. I taught them to ski, so it's that time of year where when Thanksgiving comes, they know, okay, skiing is here.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Yeah, and also, getting prepared for Thanksgiving, we all get together. I don't cook everything. We all pitch in, but between green bean casseroles, that's what I grew up on in the South, being from Texas. So you gotta have green bean casserole, and you have to have pumpkin pie with a shot of Jim Beam.
Ooh.
Well, we got Jim Beam.
Absolutely.
We got Jim Beam. We got bourbon. And Kira and Randy are still sitting here. We've been underserved. I'll tell you what, we're going to go to a short break. We're going to come right back, and we're going to talk about the original recipes that the first Pilgrims had on their menu back in the 1600s. And Kira and I did a lot of research on this. So we'll be right back after this short break. I think we're going to be talking about the winery. You see this in Phyllis's headphones. Going down the hill. Colonel Phyllis Spielman, taking names. Get out of the way, here I come. I'll have to blow you up. I know how to do these things. I was in the Army. Anyway, tomorrow, Phyllis, we have to honor our vets in Veterans Day, November 11th. You're going to be working out there somewhere, doing something, and celebrating that day, I would imagine, aren't you?
Yeah. Definitely. It's just like a family history there. great grandfather, being in the military. So it's always a great day to celebrate Veterans Day.
Well, I will tell you, we want to thank you for your service, because I know that you had, and we're going to get into that at some point in time. We're going to do a Phyllis Spielman. I think we're going to do it next Tuesday, because we're taking over the Where to Play Golf show with the same team.
Woo!
We've hijacked. We've hijacked. Michael will be back. Tim will be back, but I did get a call from Tim. He's coming back into town later today. Michael's coming back Sunday, and Betsy's going on the road. So, Betsi Hill. The next segment, Betsy, we're going to talk about the original Pilgrims in Plymouth, Massachusetts, and we know you were there in 1632.
Not.
No? That's not true?
No, sorry.
Well,
not true.
Kira must have misinformed me.
Darn it. I'm sorry.
So,
I didn't mean to.
Let's always blame Kira. I mean,
Story of my life.
So for you that don't cook, you guys would have fit right in on the first Thanksgiving. So you're not really going to report what you had, right, Phyllis? Or not Phyllis, Betsy? You really serious? Okay.
I cook a little.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. I would take that dinner your husband's going to cook. Sounds wonderful, and I hope you really do have a good time over in the Bahamas. But listen to this. This is the original Thanksgiving, a couple of the things that we came up with.
Yes.
On the menu, first of all, the Native Americans in the area actually helped the fledgling Americans try to have they literally were celebrating their first harvest. And if you know, back then, they're carving it out of the woods. But just briefly, it was not the traditional dinner as we had. The pumpkin pie was non-existent. So, Betsy,
Nope.
your cooking skills would have fit right in.
Yep.
They did not cook that either. They did not cook turkey. Another fallacy. What they did do is that they did talk about shooting carrier pigeons, geese, swan, and the Native Americans brought in a few deer, and so venison was there. Corn was basically that Indian corn. Do you guys know what, Betsy? Do you know what Indian corn is?
Yes, I do.
Have you ever had it?
Yes, I have.
So you grind it up during Thanksgiving and make it by hand into a fresh bowl of porridge? Is that what you do?
I can't tell you that I've ever done it, but my uncle was a gastroentomologist, which means that he tracked the history of food.
Wow.
And so, of course, on our groaning southern table at Thanksgiving at my grandparents, we have had that.
Really? That is amazing.
So cool.
Really and really.
Hey, in all your travels,
What's the history?
have you ever been to Plymouth, Massachusetts?
No, not yet. It's on my list.
Well, I want you to put that on your list because it's in the top 10 list of places to go on Thanksgiving. Who would have guessed?
Wait, is that on the Cape? Do you have to pass that going to the Cape?
What's that?
Do you have to pass that going to Cape Cod?
I've never been there either. I think it would really be a great place to go. I mean, with all the history. And what we looked up yesterday, all the different places to go.
Yes.
And where were some of the other ones on there? Williamsburg, Virginia, I think was one of the destinations that was on there.
Been there.
I think so.
I love Williamsburg.
Colorado was in it.
Yeah, so when you were in Williamsburg, what did you find about that, Betsy? What were the I mean, there are a lot of historical things down there, if I remember correctly.
It is. Williamsburg was actually the seat of the colony of Virginia, and it's where the first Virginia congressional hearing, first congressional senate was seated, and it is just a really cool town because they've dug out the what am I trying to say? They've recreated the houses, and they found some of the original brick buildings that have been restored. It is just really neat. It's living history.
Well, they actually have people dress up. If I recall, that you go into their the little cabins and such, and they're cooking over the iron pots over the fires and all of those great things.
They've recreated life in colonial Virginia.
One of the things I found out when we went back and did the history, go to the Smithsonian. If you go to the Hall of, I think it's the president's wives' gowns. Have you ever seen that in the Smithsonian? How they line up those?
I have.
And how tiny the people were. We
my gosh, they were small.
Yeah.
It's like going to New Orleans.
Really?
It's all the hormones now we have in our milk.
What's that, Phyllis?
I said it's because they didn't have all those hormones and stuff in the milk, and so they were smaller.
Well, I will tell you, growing up in Freeport, Illinois, I will tell you there was a time in 9th grade that our football team showed up to play a Catholic school, and the coach on the other team said, this is a 9th grade team we're supposed to be playing, not the high school, because the true story, the average weight of our football line in 9th grade in Freeport, Illinois was bigger than Northern Illinois universities at the time.
Oh, my gosh. Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we averaged about 235 pounds back in the day. That was a lot, so that's another tidbit, little item.
Like your Texas.
Yeah, well, let me tell you another item here about Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving became Thanksgiving in what year, Kira? Do you remember this? A pop quiz from yesterday.
It was during Civil War. Abraham Lincoln made it a national holiday. It was 18.
Very good. Go on.
63. I was close. I was going to say 65.
Yeah. Did you girls know that out there? That Thanksgiving just became Thanksgiving during the Civil War?
I knew it was during the Civil War. I thought it was 65, but
oh no, she's going to prove us wrong.
I'm not surprised it was 63.
But it was 1863, Betsy. It was 1863. A woman by the name of Sarah Jo.
I wasn't even thought of.
What's that, Phyllis?
I said I wasn't even thought of during that time.
You're kidding. And being that you're an actress, I thought it was just all makeup. Phyllis doesn't look 85. You see pictures of her, it is amazing what that touch-up stuff can do. You get a little airbrush on her, and she looks good. I put some pictures up last night. I go, she looks good for 85. It's crazy. And going skiing today.
Don't tell my secrets. Don't tell my secrets.
It's all airbrush and gauze, right? Uh-oh, that music's coming back. We're going to be coming back in just a minute. We're going to talk about the history of coffee. And I know that coffee. Not kofefe.
Kafifi.
No, coffee. We'll be right back.
Hold on, I'm in the middle of
Love this song. It's catchy.
I like that music.
It's the cars next to me getting their seat up on.
What's Phyllis rambling about now? I think she's testing all the dope in Denver.
Breckenridge.
Rocky Mountain High.
Breckenridge.
The Rocky Mountain High, Phyllis. She went to the...
I'm next to the people. We get our seeds out, and they have the radio on in the car, pulling out their borders. I think it's some music they're listening to. It tells me they're borders.
Well, I don't know. Wait till you hear the music we put on this. Okay. All right. Moving along. And again, you guys will never see me. Ever. So just to let you know, we're going to go into what coffee is all about, the history of coffee, and they're going to be done at this little rock fest in Coffee and Tidbits. The Tidbits now are going to be talking about coffee.
Coffee. Kafifi. Kafifi.
No, coffee.
Kafifi.
Do I have to talk like a Jewish woman now again? I did
Sound
that.
like you're Russian.
The nectar of the gods.
Nectar of the
thing.
Do you know where the most expensive coffee comes from, Betsy? Most expensive coffee.
I'm supposed to know this, yes. It's in Panama. It's on the side of a mountain. It's 900 feet up. And I want to say it's estancia, but I'm not sure if that's correct. It's $900 a pound.
And do you know why it's that expensive?
Well, I know it has something to do with the soil, but I also know that I know the story behind it, that they decided that because their coffee is actually in the perfect climate, in the perfect soil, in the perfect location, that they knew the market could bear the price. You tell me why it's so expensive.
Well, you're wrong anyway in the whole thing. I just was curious what your story was going to be. The most expensive coffee is grown in cat poop.
Ew.
Oh, that's in Bali.
There you go. I knew you knew that. Kopi Luwak, the most expensive coffee in the world. So, Phyllis, what you got in your hand, baby, you drink all of that to see what's happening, because that's Starbucks coffee.
I do. I'm drinking. I have my coffee in hand, and I love it. I just love a good cup of coffee. It doesn't matter where I'm at in the world.
I need another one.
Yeah. So I'm going to let you do...
It was a good one.
Yeah. Anyway, this coffee goes for about $150 a cup.
Holy moly.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think we need to try it. Company trip.
You can get some of the cheap stuff for $35 to $100 a cup and go from there. But, yeah, it actually gets processed through the digestive tract of a cat-like animal called a civet. And they go around and they pick up the beans. And
That is so bizarre.
yeah.
So bizarre.
I know it. So now we got all the...
I don't think I would like it.
Well, it's rich in flavor and just has a few little...
I wonder what it actually, the like...
It's actually supposed to be really good. Honestly, they had it on 60 Minutes about 2 weeks ago. The whole segment on it.
That's crazy.
I know, it's great. It is crazy, but it's a true
whew.
story. But history of coffee.
Coffee.
Coffee. Did you know, you girls, you both drink a lot of coffee, right? Because, I mean, you're not quiet in your demeanor. Certainly, we know that.
Of course.
I gotta have it to wake. So I'm gonna wake up. That's my norm. If I'm anywhere in the world, I just have to have a cup of coffee. My day's great.
Well, when the Live Eco Style team comes to whatever hotel, when we go on the road,
Oh yeah.
we will go right to the coffee.
I need coffee.
It's coffee
Sat.
in the morning. Yeah,
Sat.
you have to get that. Anyway, coffee. A few fun facts about coffee.
Until I've had a cup.
Coffee is the only second to oil as the biggest legally traded commodity in the world today. Believe it. Think about that.
Wow.
2.5 billion cups of coffee are drunk every day worldwide.
Drunk and drank.
Yeah.
Now,
Consumed.
have you ever had New York coffee, Betsi?
Oh, yes.
Okay, so does your spoon stand up in the middle when you put the cup down? Have you ever had
No,
that?
that's Navy coffee.
Yeah.
That's Navy coffee.
That sounds like in Germany. I was over there, and the first time I had their coffee, I was like, wow, I thought I was going to grow hair on my chest. It was very
You know, I saw that. What do they call that? Depilation segment that Phyllis did for one of those. You know, taking the hair off her chest for her 75th birthday.
Okay, that's true story. That's when I was in Colombia, and having a cafe Kinzo. I tried to shave that,
Well, we saw you in that, that strikingly, SBD you had on. You know what an SBD is, right?
No.
Phyllis, do you want to tell her what an SBD is?
SBD. Something bad.
Oh, my God.
See, I'm not the only one.
Okay, Betsi.
We need more coffee.
Betsi, do you want to tell these girls what an SBD is?
I'm not going there.
So this is incredible. So I used to be a women's clothing buyer.
Uh-huh.
And back in the day, Phyllis was striking in one of our pictures. It's called a simple black dress.
Oh.
You guys went there.
I was not expecting that.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Yes.
Phyllis, I think we both need more coffee.
I think I need more coffee, okay? Now we're talking acronyms and stuff like that. The Army has more acronyms, and now we're bringing them into the clothing line. Okay, now.
I said this was not going to be in any, Target. It's just... So the famed French writer and philosopher Voltaire, was rumored to have drunk 40 to 60 cups per day.
Oh, my God, that's too many. I could not imagine. I would have a heart attack and die.
Yeah?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, you don't want to hear me on like 5 cups of coffee or espressos. I'll be like
Just out of curiosity, you're not now?
oh God. Yeah, well, yep. Oh, I just only had 1 shot of espresso in this coffee.
You know what's really
girl,
good?
You're not even living. I got to have at least a double shot. That's the only thing that gets me going when I'm on the road.
You got to put some vanilla in that and then some heavy cream and just take it like a shot. That's the best way to do it. It's called a Susie.
Okay, so I went to the length of finding out who was the first person to have a cup of coffee.
Who is it?
It was an Ethiopian legend by the name of Kaldi.
Kaldi?
Mm-hmm. And he found his goats frolicking and full of energy after eating a red fruit off a shrub. And Kaldi,
which would be the coffee plant.
Yeah, it was.
Kafifi.
Yeah, no, not the Kafifi. We're not going down that path. Kaldi tried the fruit for himself and had a similar reaction. And after witnessing the strange behavior, the monk took some of the fruit back to his fellow monks, and they too stayed awake all night trying to figure out what the hell hit them. So coffee is actually grown in a cherry red fruit, and it's on the inside, and it comes out actually somewhat tasteless until you roast it. And
wow.
So there's a lot of people now cooking coffee beans and putting hazelnut and all kinds of stuff actually in air poppers. Go ahead.
You know what you say? You say those little coffee beans. So I was having a cappuccino today, and I said, okay, add a little bit of Kahlua. They're like, all right. They come there and they put whipped cream on it, and then they throw these beans on top of something. Okay, and I'm drinking it, and one gets in my mouth. I'm thinking, all right, I'm supposed to eat this coffee bean. I don't think you're supposed to eat coffee.
Oh, you are. Trust me.
You gotta have chocolate-covered coffee beans.
We're gonna be
Those are my favorite.
We're gonna be right back and talk about the 9 things that women do to get ready to go on a date.
Oh no. Oh boy. And there's only 9?
Well, hold on just a minute. All right, welcome back. We have Kira Peterson here sitting next to me, and we've got Betsi Hill on the line from Fort Pierce, Florida. The 85-year-old Phyllis Spielman, looking good with a
coming from Breckenridge,
fully shaven chest, getting ready to go down the hill in her wet T-shirt, shorts, high thigh boots, a mink boa around her neck, and all the wrinkles. And she put all preparation H under the eyes just to take the wrinkles fully out of her facial.
You told my secret, dang it.
I know it. Anyway, we're going down a path that, as I've told Kira many times, men are stupid.
Yep.
All right.
It's true.
Men are
I
stupid.
can totally agree 100% right now.
Yep. I have to agree.
So we're going to do the Kira Untapped here after we get done here. So you guys will have to tune back in for Kira Untapped because we're going to deal with 15 minutes of Kira's love life. So it's,
only 15?
Can I be
only 15?
What do you want to do, Phyllis?
I said I'll be a part of that.
All right, we'll bring you on.
You can totally do it.
He only has 15 minutes of a love life? Kira, what's wrong?
Well, when you have 2 guys that are complete
or lack of.
I think I'll go get coffee now. I'm just going to say. So, Betsi, you're more than welcome to come back on for Kira Untapped. And I'm sure Jim would like to know about your 9 basic things you do for your love life. You know, I'm going to stay out of that, and Kira's going to talk in 15 minutes about the 5 guys that she's now. Well, wait a minute. We'll just get back to that in a minute. So anyway, I'm going to throw this open to Kira. The 9 things that women do.
7 things.
Was it 7?
7 things girls do before a date if they really like you.
This is your segment. Go right ahead.
Kara, I bet y'all add a couple of that.
Okay, definitely. The first one is
I can't weigh in because I've been married for 30 years, so I don't know what it's like 5 things.
Pre-internet.
The first one is carve out a good chunk of time, and it takes 3 hours to get ready, and it's just getting ready can often be the most fun part of the evening. Getting ready.
Getting ready?
Getting ready. Sending pictures.
That's number
Wait
one?
a minute.
Number one.
Hold on. Do you mean to tell me it takes 3 hours for you guys to get ready? Come
Doesn't
on.
take me 3 hours. It takes me like an hour.
God, I'm like 25 minutes and I'm all
I know, right?
I'm like
I mean,
3.
I do still have date nights, but 3 hours? Good Lord.
That's what it
Wait,
says.
does that include the background check? Does that include the background
I'm not sure.
You know, I was wondering. It just occurred to me, you got to Google the guy.
Yep. To make sure he's not a creep.
Yes.
Do some Law and Order SVU type of stuff going on.
No, Kara?
Yes.
Kara, I'll lend my husband to you.
Okay.
Trust me. They see him, they'll turn around and run.
It's like the farmer's daughter with the shotgun waiting.
Okay, next.
Yeah, except his has a little bit more power than a shotgun.
Does that 3 hours include you picking out your outfit, or
Yes.
you just got to take that? Wow. Okay, gotcha.
I don't know who takes 3 hours to get ready for a date, but
Neither do I.
I mean, kudos if you take that too much time. That time.
Next number 2.
Second is research the venue. If it's an exciting date, there's 100% chance I'm going to Google the restaurant and figure out what I'm ordering beforehand.
Oh, yeah, what you have to wear.
That's a good idea.
And what you have to wear, because there's nothing worse than showing up in a cocktail dress when everyone has their their spurs and boots on, and you're like...
Yeah, and you're trying to cover up your chest hair. Yeah. So.
I'm trying to cover up my chest hair. No, I'm not a lady of the night. Oh, no.
I didn't know what this denigrated into the view. Where's Whoopi?
Let me make sure the sun's not glistening on that.
The third one is perfume.
Moving on, Kara.
Number 3 is perfume. Coco Chanel said that a woman who doesn't wear perfume has no future.
Agreed. Oh, my God, yes.
And quite frankly, you better be wearing Chanel number 5.
Yes.
It is the
number 1, perfume.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I have to say, guys, Chanel, Coco, Mademoiselle. I that's my hands down favorite. I just
Mine's black opium. It smells like coffee.
Okay.
I love it. It smells like coffee.
Next.
It's delicious.
We got 3 minutes for
And
this.
then 4 is Pinterest while working.
Pinterest.
So you can spend the whole afternoon looking at outfits, hairstyles, makeup, beauty, back and forth with your friends on GChat.
Okay. Well,
So, Randy, when she disappears for more than 20 minutes, you know she's looking at outfits on Pinterest. And you better go find her.
no, all I know is that as we work around the table all day, that phone is constantly coming out, constantly coming out, swiping to the right, swiping to the left. You know.
I do not have a Tinder.
I can't chime in on that one.
Do you girls have a Tinder account?
No.
Phyllis?
Yes.
Are you kidding? I once tried one of those, and I was like, oh, no. Month and a half I lasted, and I was like, oh, no.
Not dealing with that
Everybody
again.
has to have a Pinterest account.
No, I
No.
said Tinder.
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 I said Tinder.
I did say Tinder.
What the?
No.
What's a Tinder account?
Tinder. Tinder. Tinder.
You
What's
can
a
swipe
Tinder
left or
account?
swipe right. You swipe right if you like him. You swipe left if you're not interested.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Match.com on steroids.
Wow, I gotta try that. Wow.
And then number 5 is blasting embarrassing love songs. And like this woman's go-to song is "You Smile" by Justin Bieber.
Every girl I dated played Flight of the Valkyries.
I don't even know what this song sounds like. "You Smile" by Justin Bieber.
I have no idea.
No. You could put on "I'm too sexy for myself." You know that. See, that's a Gary.
I don't think I ever would dance around before a date or listen to. I don't know. Do you guys dance around before you have a date?
Well, back in the 60s when I was dating,
Yeah.
they played music from Apocalypse Now. I don't know why that.
You really are asphyxiated. You really are fixated on Apocalypse Now, aren't you?
Well, the show is the death of me, I think, at this point in time. So go ahead. We're going to take it right in. We're going to just crash it right at the end of the runway. Go ahead.
Number 6 is shave.
Shave.
Shave everywhere.
Everywhere.
Exfoliate and condition, even a color boost. Lotion everywhere.
I'm not going to even mention on this.
I'm
gonna
just-
let that
Wait,
alone.
do not. Okay, don't come to Colorado unless you have like bottles of lotion. Then.
Oh, my God.
Tons of spares. And drink lots of water because you'll be a prune going out on your date, and I'll look like 105. But because I use preparation H, I look a little less. But
Just keep drinking that water and lotioning that body. And then number 7 is make the entire apartment spotless.
Ooh.
so you're taking a bath. Oh no. It
Yeah.
has to be at least the 4th time before they even get into my door.
It's like the end of this says, so I would have something nice to offer as a nightcap. An expensive whiskey. And I'm like,
See, now, the reason I set this segment up. Okay, now listen.
Have kids, Kara, and
What?
you won't have that.
I'm like, I would never. No, you're not supposed to do that on the first date.
Do what?
Take somebody back
No,
to their
you're not.
house or your apartment or
Really?
what?
They want to play Parcheesi?
Kara, I'm lucky to ever have a second date if they ever come to my door and meet my sons. It's just they won't even get in the door.
If you do something with the chest hair, maybe you'd have that second date. Just tuck it back in your turtleneck. Everything will be fine.
It's almost as bad as being a music photographer. People are like, ooh, I don't know if I can go on a second date with you.
See,
You hang out with those people.
All guys want is they want the. See, I think.
I'm like, no.
I'm not going to. I'm just not. I'm going to stay out of this completely.
Since most guys, I heard,
What's that?
think that if you're a girl photographer or
Yeah.
you're a girl in the music industry, you must be a groupie.
That's what I've heard.
Whoa.
Yep. If you're in the entertainment business and you're a girl and you're pretty, you're a groupie.
Really? And what does that mean?
You sleep with guys in bands.
Really?
Or what?
Give me a break. That's a really bad stereotype.
I know.
It is because it is because you're not. You could be a nice little hermit, and
Yeah.
you're a groupie and you're really not. You just dance around your room to freaking risky business and stuff.
Okay, now I got the question, and this always bothered me, and this goes way back when. And I didn't date very much. I was a loner and just trying to get a scholarship to go to college. But why do women like bad boys then? Because if you're a good guy and you're a nice guy, you are not going to date any hot girl. Not going to happen.
Wait a minute.
Not going to
Wait
happen.
a minute. That's not true.
That is way
not
true. Absolutely true.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
Oh, I got the votes on this one.
You gotta be nice to your
My husband was a good guy, and he ended up with me. So I guess we broke the story.
Well,
on
he
that
dated bad girls. I mean, it just went that way, It's just-
one. No.
No, trust me.
You don't want to push over. I think you don't want to push over.
Yes. You don't want to put.
No push over.
Yeah.
I think bad boy and strong could go hand in hand. I guess maybe you want to.
Maybe you want some facial hair. You don't want a pretty boy. Some people don't want pretty boys. When I think of a pretty boy, and when I think of a bad boy, I think of a man's man, not like a good guy. It makes me think of the uptight guy that's like has money from his trust fund or whatever.
So
Or
you're not a gold digger, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
I don't want a baby
that really
face.
No.
Yeah.
Well,
you are in the right state then, because I understand that in Wisconsin they all grow beards to stay warm.
Yes.
Wait till you come to Colorado. They have man buns too.
I'm okay with that.
Oh God, I hate man buns. Let's not even go there. But do you know how I will tell you, do you know how man buns started?
No.
Man buns were actually from Japan and the warriors, the samurai.
Oh.
So all those wimpy girly boys that wear man buns, they need to go learn warrior training instead of wearing man buns.
Can we just-
I'm sorry, that is just the stupidest thing I've ever seen.
Can we just ship them to Japan?
You need is to have it, if it's in a bun and they go to sleep and you accidentally cut off their bun. Wow.
I would totally do that.
I would totally do it.
Those are the Army days coming back. Sorry about that.
Wow. I've got so many questions in so little time.
Well, ask one then.
Huh?
Ask one. Come on, Randy.
Ask one.
Yeah.
I always had the theory when I was a kid growing up that all women were mentally connected. That they could, like if I got in trouble, the fourth grade teacher could just, ESP to my mom. Randy's being a bad boy in the back. I know he's bad. He's been a bad boy today. And the women of the world, they were just connected in that way because they play guys. Guys do not play women. Women play guys. There's no question in my...
Not everybody, no, not all females do that. You're stereotyping and that you cannot do that.
Yes.
Oh, yes, I can.
No, you can.
Hey, I'm going to tell you something. Right out of college, I had a physics and chemistry degree, and what I was doing, I became a women's clothing buyer. Now, how I did that, we'll go into some other segment. I was not gay. I was working in New York. I was putting clothes on and taking clothes off of women all day. That was my job.
So you don't have any pumps in the closet, eh?
I am not in the closet, but I hung in a lot of women's closets. My wife at the time had a wardrobe that was incredible. I'm just going to talk over you guys. Okay. I'm going to get this in right now. And not only that...
You're not wearing the lipstick.
Hey.
You wearing the pants in the family?
Yes, I did. I had not a problem with that. But all I'm telling you is I go to New York. We were buying with a very famous person that was teaching me this world. And women would show up, half arranged with nothing on to encourage me to buy whatever line of clothes I was buying. We were expanding. I had 150 women working under me at any given time was my statement that I had in 25 different stores. And, I got along with women really well. And my problem was that they considered me a nice guy. A nice guy, and I was a nice guy. I didn't, do anything bad.
Every girl wants a nice guy,
no,
though.
You don't. No,
yes, we do.
You don't. No, you don't.
Yes,
I'll tell you when the nice guy comes in is after the woman's third marriage, and 4 kids later, and all of a sudden there's a nice guy going, "Oh, you got a job? Awesome!" And and you actually come home and you cook. That's great.
Let me correct the stereotype. We used to like to play with bad boys in our younger days. But as we got older and smarter and we were looking more toward marriage, we always looked toward the good guy. Because
Amen.
The good guy was the one.
I agree.
Am I right?
You are totally right.
I just said that.
Thank you.
When a woman goes through 3 or 4 bad marriages and has
or bad relationships,
six exactly. Then all of a sudden they don't like the guy sitting there with the stocking cap in his head and still playing video games at his mother's on Thanksgiving.
Right?
Exactly.
What's up with that? I know video games that you're over the age of 45 and you're playing video games all the time. What's that? I don't.
That's one thing that I will not tolerate in a relationship. You play video games all the time,
and it's
if
not.
You do. I'm sorry. Next.
and if you guys are dating guys that still have a bed by their parents' furnace in the basement, it's time to move on.
Yes.
I don't care how bad they are.
Agree.
Yeah.
Right.
Agree.
Right. Well, okay.
Oh, no. So I'm going to have to tell my son he's going to have to move out. Oh, boy.
Well, have him. I'm not going to get into
At least they scare those creepy men away.
Phyllis, with you being 84, your son's got to be pushing 60 at least at this point in time. So, yeah.
I know. I'm like, guys, you really go.
Well, we began covering the topics. We're getting done here. We're going to bring it back. The Norman Rockwell moment, I think we covered. The golden retriever sitting by the fireplace at Thanksgiving. We don't eat turkey. We eat geese or swan.
I become vegan.
We eat colored corn. We found out Thanksgiving was around Abraham Lincoln approved it, and that women like bad boys. I'm convinced. The 9 rules.
Without man buns.
All right. Thank you, Betsi Hill. Thanks you, Phyllis Spielman. And thank you, Kara Peterson.
Anytime.
We'll be back someday with coffee and more tidbits. Have a good one.